Starting a podcast, simple steps for beginners. I say again, this process, you all, I made it super simple for you. All right. Because I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to overthink this podcasting process at all. But if this is you and you're thinking about starting a podcast, but you don't know where to begin, again, let's keep it simple.
Yeah. I got something to say. I've been through some things, a whole lot of things. I guess they thought I wouldn't make it. I guess they thought I would fall on my face and just stay there. But baby, that's just not who I am.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the From Grief to Purpose podcast. As always, I am your host, Minnina Smith, aka Nina, life coach, grief coach, and graduate student specializing in therapy. Now, before we get into this particular episode, I need you guys, if you have not done so already, to click that subscribe button. It helps us reach more people that need just a little bit more encouragement. Now, we're going to do something a little bit different today. I had some requests from some guests, or I should say some questions about how to start a podcast. Although I'm just in my beginner phase of podcasting, okay? But I take that as a compliment because obviously I'm doing something really well with this podcast that they would even ask me how to get started, what do they do, and so forth. Now, once again, I'm a beginner. I literally have 174 followers on YouTube. And I also, the podcast is streaming on all podcast streaming platforms as far as like the audio version. But I do remember how it was when I first started my journey in podcasting and the research I had to do, the work that I had to do to figure out like how to get everything going, what to do, how to get started, and so forth. So I wanted to just create something like a beginner guide, simple steps to help the beginner on how to get started with their podcasting process. So I put something together for you guys. I'm going to share my screen with you. So bear with me here for a moment. And I'm going to just put this up here for you to see. And we're going to get into this again. You all, very simple. I try to keep it super simple, super short with the steps and the things that you need when starting your podcasting journey. All right. So here we are. Okay. Starting a podcast, simple steps for beginners. I say again, this process, you all, I made it super simple for you. All right. Because I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to overthink this podcasting process at all. But if this is you and you're thinking about starting a podcast, but you don't know where to begin, again, let's keep it simple. All right, now let's get into it. Step one, you have to define your message when you're getting started. All right. You have to know exactly like what is it that you want to talk about, first of all, right? So, where do you start with that? This is something that you should be writing down in a notebook or journal, your podcasting journey. This is my suggestion. So, you can, in writing this information down, I have 3 questions that you should be asking yourself. Start with your why. What is your why for starting the podcast? The next thing you want to ask yourself is, what do you want to say to your audience? Okay. And the third thing you need to ask yourself is, who do you want to reach? Now, for an example, right? For my podcast, for an example, I started off podcasting underneath the title, or it was called, I should say, That Dose of Encouragement. So I started off calling the podcast That Dose of Encouragement because my coaching business was called or is That Dose of Encouragement. So I was like, well, let me just keep this title. I had it on my heart to start a podcast. So let's go with That Dose of Encouragement, right? I really put no major thought into it. No prayer was put into it. I was just like, I'm going with this particular title. Then as I'm transitioning, I've already gotten started. I've already, got all the things for the podcast that I needed as a beginner. I'm now like talking into a microphone and I have started this particular podcast. So journeying along maybe I want to say like maybe a year later, God put it on my heart to change the title of my podcast. And literally, I was like, okay, this is changing the direction of my podcast. But that's when we shifted to From Grief to Purpose, which made so much sense. And that during that time, I had just been, in I go into these creative modes where I need, just time and space to myself where I just take the time to think, pray, where is the direction of this podcast going? God put it on my heart, shifted the title to From Grief to Purpose. And my why was because my journey, I needed to express more about my own personal journey of from grief to purpose and my backstory as it related to grief and the losses that I have experienced throughout my life and how I can incorporate that into this podcast moving forward. So that was my why. The why behind the podcast is just to share my own journey to help and encourage others with some of the things that I have overcome. Now, what do you want to say, right? Once you have your why, it really helps you establish what you want to say. This is where you can really get into more of, okay, I want to take the podcast in this particular direction. This is what I want to talk about. This is what is on my heart to say. And then you can plan things out and structure it from there. And then that will give you who do you want to reach. Like my podcast, of course, right? Grief covers all of us. We will all experience grief at some point in our lives. So, but with my audience, I try to still maintain it at more of a balanced adult type of conversation. So I try to gear towards that 18 and older crowd. Now, once you have all of that down, right, and the breakdown in this step here in defining your message, I want you to move on to this next step, step two. This is where you're going to pick your tools, right? You've got all the things that you need down from step one. So moving to step two, pick your tools and keep it extremely basic. So when you are just getting started out podcasting, and this is from my opinion, right? You should only be using the necessities, the basic necessities. And that is super easy, which is right. If you have a cell phone, you can podcast from your cell phone, or a laptop. You can podcast from your laptop. And some people don't have laptops. You can use your desktop computer. There are just make sure it's functioning and has all the proper things that it needs going on inside of the computer to podcast properly, and you're set up with a good internet connection. But you just need those basic things. So your cell phone, of course, a laptop or desktop, and of course you need some type of microphone to record. Now, my suggestion for microphones when you're recording from your phone would be a pair of earbuds. If you're recording, or a pair of headphones, right? And you can use the same with your laptop. So earbuds for as far as a mic is concerned, earbuds or a headphone with your laptop. Same goes as your desktop. Just research what type of microphone will pair well with your particular device. All right. So keep it basic because, again, that's how I started as well. I kept it super basic because I did not want to overspend, even though I really, wanted to, and I wanted to have all the quality things after like watching certain, podcasters and what they do and what they have, and certain YouTubers and what they do and what they have. And I was like, man, I really want those things too because I love quality. I like a quality production. But when you're just getting started, it's not going to be perfect. Like it is not going to be perfect. There's so many things that you have to get through and things that you have to, different things that you have to work out within yourself and within the context of the podcasting process. Just keep it basic, begin to practice and so forth so that you can get your voice out there. So you have your everything that you need from step one, your why, what is it that you want to say, and who is it that you want to talk to. And then in this step, keep your tools very basic and low cost at this point. All right. All right. Now moving on. Step three. This is where we can record now, okay? Because you have the tools, we have your why, you have your, what you want to say, you have, you know, who it is that you want to talk to. And now you have some basic tools to start with, right? Now let's pick a platform. Okay. This is where I want you to pick a platform. You can use, there are so many different platforms out there. So definitely do your research and find the one that fits your particular needs. And when I'm talking about needs, I'm talking about the type of quality that you like to present if you're doing a YouTube platform, or if you're just doing an audio platform, like you're not ready to put your face out there on YouTube and so forth. Listen, it took me a minute to get there too. But if you are just doing like, whatever, however it is that you're doing it, let me say that. Just make sure you pick the one that's right for you. And that is something that is quality, but also within your own budget. Okay. Don't go out here and get these, super expensive platforms if you know that you cannot afford that right now. Now, I have to give a shout out to this is not a paid advertisement. It's just where I started. I don't even think that they have an affiliate link for this particular platform. I don't know. I don't care, but I'm going to shout them out anyway. So I started off with Altitude. That was my podcasting platform when I first started out. I have since transitioned from them, but it is a great platform to start with when you're podcasting in audio format. Yeah, I do not believe they offer video format. I have not gone and done our research on that, but I haven't used them in quite some time. But as far as audio and to upload them, I use Buzzsprout. Now, I do believe that they are all inclusive. So you can literally record your podcast there and you can also upload it to all major podcasting streaming platforms. But now I currently use Riverside and I still have Buzzsprout to upload my audio version of my podcast. But I use Riverside and I absolutely love, 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 love Riverside. I use them for my video production portion of the podcast. And I also use them to download my audio. Then I upload it to Buzzsprout. Yes, I do. Because I did not want to go away from Buzzsprout. And that's just my own particular, little thing that I've had them for such a long time. And so I'm keeping them. But Riverside is an all-inclusive platform. They do, the video portion, they do audio, and you can stream on all podcast playing, a streaming platform, excuse me, as well. But again, do your own research, check and see what type of platform will fit well for your particular needs and your particular budget. And after you've gotten all that, you've gotten your platform, you set your account up. Now you can record and then you can upload. Isn't this exciting so far, you guys? I'm so excited for you all. Ready. Now, look, the next step again, y'all, I'm just keeping it super simple for you all. Step 4, this is where you want to share your voice. Put yourself out there, right? You want to share it on all of your social media platforms. And make sure your social media platforms, you guys, are super professional, nice, and neat, put together so that when people go to your platform, they're like, oh, okay. Meaning that your bio is professionally done, right? As far as professionally done, it's super easy. You don't have to pay someone to do that for you, although they do have people out there to make your bio look professional within your Instagram and your Facebook, what to say. Chat GPT, friend, Chat GPT can do a nice little short professional bio for you. But make sure that your platform, is something that can, people want to go to. But apart from all of that, share your podcast, right? Share your podcast on your social media. Share it on YouTube if you have a YouTube podcast, share it on video or audio. And actually, YouTube, you can already, once you submit to whatever podcasting streaming platform that you are on, like I'm on Buzzsprout, right? And Buzzsprout pushes to all of the major podcasting platforms to include YouTube. I just don't have my audio on YouTube because I prefer to have my video only on YouTube, but it's on there. So you can share like social shares and stories and so forth in a reel, for like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Share your voice. That's what I do. I put it on all platforms because people that are on TikTok may not be on Facebook. People that are on Facebook may not be on TikTok and so forth, right? More people watch YouTube sometimes than they do TikTok. So you need to put your voice out there and don't be scared to do it either. Okay. Because someone out there needs your particular story. Someone out there needs what it is that you have to share. Remember, you've already recorded, you've already uploaded. And when you're sharing your stories, again, you've already done the work. publish that thing, share it, and keep doing it. Keep doing it. All right. The more that you keep doing it, the more that you keep recording, the more you keep showing up, the easier that it will get to you for you. Now, in the beginning, it's a little scary, right? You're going to be a little fearful, but you got to put all that to the side and just go forth in what it is that you know that you have been called to do. All right. Now, the next thing I wanted to share with you guys is just this. If you want more details, I have created a free guide for you guys on how to start your own podcast. And again, this is for the beginner. Like you just have the thoughts right now. You don't have any equipment, you have the thought, or maybe you have the equipment and you just don't know what to do. I created this little short guide for you that has a little bit more information than what I have shared with you all on today. But if this is you, you want to start a podcast, you don't know where to start, please be sure to click the link in the description and it has more information for you because I want you to put your story out there. I want you to put your expertise out there. You never know who you may inspire, who you could teach, who you may encourage just because you decided to show up from the thought that you or the from the feeling that was on your heart to do so, which was to start a podcast. Now, mind you, I do this podcast in my spare time. Okay. And like I said, I have my coaching business. I'm also a student and I work, during the day. So this is something that you have to make time for. God put something on my heart. I'm definitely going to show up for it. With what we do, we wear many hats in this life sometimes. But when you wear many hats, you just have to make sure that you are showing up in each individual space and giving that space the appropriate time that it needs and schedule yourself. Don't get overwhelmed, but schedule yourself accordingly. All right, you guys, this was the presentation for this particular podcast that I wanted to share with you all. I hope that you all gain something from it. I hope that you all go to the link and, view the details that I have within that guide. Again, it's a free guide. I made it just for you, for the beginner podcaster that's looking to get started on the podcast. You need just a few more tips. Again, this is just here to support your own personal podcasting journey. Definitely get out there and research, do the things that you need to do for your podcast. There's tons of videos on how to start a podcast. I'm just adding to the party, and I hope and I wish you all a most successful journey on your podcast. Again, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. If you happen to start a podcast, leave me a message. Let me know that you're getting started with your podcast, what the title of your podcast is, and I promise you I'm going to show up and support. All right, you guys, y'all be blessed.